What would happen if a prominent presidential candidate suddenly dropped out and backed his biggest rival? Well, folks, that's exactly what we're here to discuss today. The surprising news of Governor Ron DeSantis throwing in the towel and opting to back none other than former President Donald Trump in the presidential race. For those who need a quick refresh, Ron DeSantis is the current governor of Florida, and until recently a rising star in the Republican Party. His presidential bid was fueled by a strong conservative agenda, and his performance in the Iowa caucuses had many believing he was a serious contender. But things took an unexpected turn when DeSantis finished second, trailing behind Trump. Not just in Iowa, mind you. DeSantis's campaign, though robust and well-funded, lagged behind in other states as well. For instance, in South Carolina, DeSantis was trailing 18 percentage points behind former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. And while he did have his share of supporters, the numbers simply weren't stacking up in his favor. In the midst of all this, Governor DeSantis's policies back home in Florida were under fire. His administration faced criticism from civil rights organizations and even led to the relocation of conventions and events out of the state. The political climate in Florida was far from favorable, adding another layer of complexity to DeSantis's presidential campaign. And then came the bombshell. DeSantis, in a move that left political pundits and citizens alike scratching their heads, decided to drop out of the presidential race. But that wasn't the end of it. He didn't just step down, he chose to back his biggest rival, former President Donald Trump. Now, DeSantis's decision to back Trump has sent shockwaves through the political landscape. But what led to this decision? We'll peel back the layers of this political twist in the next segment. Stay tuned. To understand this abrupt decision, we need to look at the series of events leading up to it. Let's rewind to the initial stages of DeSantis's campaign. As he began his presidential race, the First Lady of Florida, Casey DeSantis, stirred up a controversy in Iowa. In a well-intentioned but misguided attempt to rally support, she called for out-of-state supporters to participate in the Iowa caucuses. This led to a swift response from the Republican Party of Iowa, reminding that only legal residents of Iowa can participate. Although Casey DeSantis clarified her message, social media critics accused her of advocating for voter fraud. This incident, while not directly linked to DeSantis, certainly cast a shadow over his campaign. Now let's shift our focus to the criticisms DeSantis faced, particularly those related to his policies in Florida. One of the most significant blows came from the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, the oldest historically black collegiate fraternity in the U.S. They announced that they would relocate their 2025 convention from Orlando, Florida, due to what they perceived as harmful and racist policies by DeSantis's administration. This decision was not made lightly. It was in response to a travel advisory issued by the NAACP and other civil rights organizations, who cited openly hostile laws and policies towards African Americans, people of color, and the LGBTQ+ community in Florida. Moreover, DeSantis's new education standards were a point of contention. The standards included teaching middle school students that slaves developed skills for their personal benefit. This sparked outrage and furthered the criticism against DeSantis. Several other organizations and associations followed suit, canceling their conventions in Florida due to its political climate. All these factors combined to significantly impact DeSantis' standing in the presidential race. So, with his campaign facing numerous challenges, DeSantis made a strategic decision. Politics is a game of strategy, and DeSantis' move to back Trump is a clear example of this. It's not just an act of political loyalty, it's a strategic chess move on the grand board of American politics. By backing Trump, DeSantis aligns himself with a figure who continues to wield significant influence within the Republican Party. It places him in a favorable light among Trump's ardent supporters, which could be a considerable advantage in future elections. This move potentially allows DeSantis to tap into Trump's extensive base, consolidating his own position within the party. Moreover, this decision could serve as a bid to unify the Republicans under a single banner. In a political landscape that's increasingly divided, rallying behind a familiar figure can be a powerful way to bring cohesion and focus to a party's agenda. It's a move that underscores the importance of unity in achieving political objectives, and it's a signal that DeSantis is playing the long game. But what does this mean for the other players in the field? Well, for Nikki Haley, who's been gaining momentum in national polls, this could present a new challenge. DeSantis' endorsement of Trump might sway voters who are on the fence, potentially tipping the scales in favor of the former president. It's a dynamic that adds an extra layer of complexity to an already heated race. As for the public reaction, it's been a mixed bag. Some view this as a savvy political move, while others see it as an act of political convenience. Regardless of where you stand, it's undeniable that this move has stirred the pot, adding another twist to an already unpredictable political narrative. While this move may seem surprising, it's a calculated decision that could have far-reaching implications. As the race continues to unfold, it's moves like these that will shape the course of American politics, reminding us that in this game the only constant is change. So, what does DeSantis backing Trump mean for the 2024 elections? Well, it's a game changer. DeSantis stepping aside and endorsing Trump could potentially consolidate the Republican vote. It's a strategic move designed to prevent a split in the party vote that could pave way for a Democratic victory. DeSantis' endorsement could solidify Trump's position as the front-runner, making it even harder for any other candidate to catch up. This could also mean a significant shift in the race dynamics, putting other contenders like Nikki Haley in a challenging position. Haley, who has been gaining momentum in national polling, now faces an even steeper climb. Within the Republican Party, this move may also intensify the division between the Trump loyalists and those seeking a new direction for the party. It might lead to some political turbulence, but also to a more defined party identity. And let's not forget the voters. DeSantis' support base is strong. His endorsement could influence his followers to rally behind Trump, further boosting the latter's chances. While the full impact of DeSantis' decision is yet to be seen, one thing is clear. The 2024 presidential race just got a whole lot more interesting.